Hey everybody, welcome to another adventure with Stratos Wave, and we are going to be revisiting the survival game of Icarus. I really enjoy this game. I've got about 150 plus hours into it. That may be more or less than you, but as much as I've enjoyed it, there's been some kind of things that made it a little less fun to play. However, over the course of the last year to 6 months, the developers have made a lot of changes to the game from player feedback that I think may get you to reconsider either coming back to it or purchasing it if you haven't already. That being said, while I'm recording this, the Steam Winter Sale is going on. This game is currently 33% off. That's a pretty good discount. So if you are either thinking about coming back to the game or possibly purchasing it, stick with me and we'll go over some key points. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and select a low-level character here just to kind of go through. All right, so one of the big changes that's occurred is the game modes that we have available. The original game mode was missions. Also, originally we only had one map. This second map is new, and again, along with considering whether or not you want to pick this up during the Steam sale, the developers have said that this second map is going to start to become a separate paid DLC for new purchasers of the game. I just had a friend pick this up a couple days ago. They still got this second map. So after you're done looking at the video, seriously consider whether or not you want to pick it up during the sale, because there's a good chance this won't be available afterwards. All right. So if you're brand new to the game, just real quick, missions have timers. Originally, these timers were real-world timers, so you had 6 real-world days to complete a mission. That can be a huge issue if you have a busy life. Trying to map out a day or two to complete the mission so that the consequences that were there from the developers in the beginning was if your mission timer timed out, your character would just basically die and you'd lose all your items, any special items that you had. So the 2 improvements they've made, this is now in-game time, which is awesome. And 2, there is an insurance system so that you can kind of protect your stuff and your items. If you are a new player, highly recommend you do go to the missions first. You complete Beachhead, Livewire, Ice Storm, Deep Vein Extraction. This will unlock the second in-game currency for you, the exotics. And then, probably at a more leisurely pace, I'd work your way over to Searchlight Scan, Waterfall, and then Payday Extraction. This one will allow you to unlock a technology that makes it easier to find the exotics. All right. So that is the main mission mode. Outposts, I'm not going to talk a ton about. Basically, it's a map where you could have a base that would stay, because when you build bases and stuff in missions, when you go to your next mission, you have to start all over. That was a big complaint for people. They got tired of trying to, do the grind to get the materials, to build the base, to build the different equipment you needed. So this was kind of their first attempt at a compromise with that, but basically it's a builder mode. If you like that kind of thing, sandbox, great. This mode's for you. And then most recently, just a few weeks ago, they came out with the new open world mode. This one lets you have a base that you can keep, and there's some missions that you can do. So it's really trying to mold or meld these two together. So far, it looks like the missions are less detailed / complicated, probably a lower variety. You also, in this, kind of some of the disadvantages of the open world, and a huge one is that resources in open world do not currently respawn. I think that's a huge mistake by the developers. I hope I'm not the only one saying this. There's things like trees, oxide you need for like breathing and stuff like that that you're going to eventually run out of. Their current statement on why they did it is they're like, well, the map is huge. Well, that's true. But, you know, if people spend enough time in there, it's going to start to make the game not fun. My suggestion to the developers would be, okay, if, you know, in the outposts, I don't remember what the timeline was. I think it was like 6 hours or something like that. Stuff would respawn. If you want to make that respawn a little bit more challenging, that's fine. Make it a couple days or whatever. Or give us an ability in here where we can recreate those elements that we're going to need. So that's kind of the gist of the modes. This is huge. I'm currently playing with this, and I'm really excited to see how well that is going to work out for me. The other thing I want to say for new players real quick, let's go into the workshop. One of the reasons you're going to want to do those missions is so that you can do something else that makes the game a little bit easier, and that's to craft some of these basic workshop items. In the game, you have to keep track of your oxygen, your food, and your water. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but I was totally amazed when I unlocked this canteen, which would be my first choice for the first thing for you to unlock, how much more fun the game became when I wasn't constantly having to go find a water source every, 15 or 30 minutes. The canteen will actually keep you well watered for a good period of time. There's some of those missions that you can go on. If you get your canteen filled up, you may not have to fill it again throughout the mission. So highly, highly, highly recommend the canteen. The second item I would recommend would be the knife. This just makes it easier. Sometimes you drop in and you got animals right on top of you, predators trying to attack you. Unless it's like a grizzly bear, you will probably be able to fend them off just fine with the knife. And then my third choice would be one of these suits. There's several that I've kind of unlocked as I'm working my way over to. I would like to eventually unlock the super fancy suits over here in the armor. But you can see I haven't really unlocked a lot of other high-level stuff, and I'm not saying I'm not going to or that you can't, but what I'm saying is just by unlocking some of the basic stuff, you're going to really increase the enjoyment of the game. The big thing to look for in the suits, this one only has an oxygen slot. What I'm going to look for is an oxygen and a water slot. So probably this suit, I think, is the first one you can unlock that has that capability. But if you can have those three items, the canteen, the suit with both slots, that the water slot allows you to put the canteen into the slot in your suit so that you don't have to stop and manually take a drink all the time. And the knife, this game just gets so much more fun. And I don't mean to say that I didn't have fun playing it before, but games can get kind of grindy, and this just really helped with that. All right. So that is a general overview for those of you considering or reconsidering picking up the game of Icarus. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please consider hitting that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, especially about Icarus, you can click that link for my playthrough of the open world.